Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you, colleagues, for your attention on this resolution. And I'm joined here by my fellow colleague in our Jewish caucus here in the legislature. And just last week, Jews across Michigan, across the country, across the world, just ended the observance of Passover. For the first 2 nights of Passover, Jewish families gather at their seders to tell the story of our bondage in ancient Egyptian slavery. And I think that the most important part of the holiday is the recitation of this line from that seder. B'chol dor v'dor chayav adam lirot et atzmo ke'ilu hu yatsa mimitzrayim. In every generation, a person must regard himself or herself as if he or she had personally come out of Egypt. This has been the burden that each Jewish generation has carried for thousands of years. And now, we're about 1 or 2 generations removed from the Holocaust. So too should this be our burden as Jews for thousands of years to come, to remember the atrocities of the 1930s and 40s as if it had personally happened to us. This is especially our burden today because we will be the last generation to know survivors of the Holocaust who were personally inflicted by these acts of evil, acts that took the lives of 6 million of their Jewish family members and many millions more. And when they too are gone, who is left to fill that void to account for our history? Will it be those of us here in the House who are voting to pass the resolution that we offer here, House Resolution 300, to declare this day as Holocaust Remembrance Day? Or will that void be filled by a repugnant vitriol of increasingly empowered white nationalists and neo-Nazis right here in our own country? Now this year, it's been a year of strife for members of the Jewish community. I am 31 years old, and I have seen more anti-Semitism in my 31st year of life than I've seen in my first 3 decades combined. So Holocaust Remembrance Day, it must serve as a commemoration and a warning that the Holocaust, it didn't happen overnight. It was 6 years between the 1933 economic boycott of Jews in Germany and Kristallnacht in November of 1939 when violent clashes arose. By 6 years later, in 1945, the world's Jewish population was reduced by 1/3. Poland, home to the largest Jewish community before World War II, lost 90% of its Jewish population, including members of my family. Greece, Yugoslavia, Hungary, Lithuania, Bohemia, the Netherlands, Slovakia, Latvia, each of those countries lost more than 70% of their Jewish population. So where will we be in 6 years after Nazis marched in Charlottesville chanting, "Jews will not replace us"? Where will we be 6 years after that? We in the Michigan legislature, we are taking proactive steps to learn from our history so that we don't repeat it. The Michigan legislature enacted Public Act 170 of 2016, which ensures that Michigan students learn about the Holocaust. We created the Governor's Council on Genocide and Holocaust Education, which coordinates events, activities, and education that will appropriately memorialize the victims of the Holocaust, such as this Holocaust Remembrance Day, which we are observing today. Michigan continues to be a leader in preserving the documentation of the Holocaust at the Holocaust Memorial Center in Farmington Hills. And today, we held the official State of Michigan Holocaust commemoration in the Capitol Rotunda, where our colleagues joined with me and Representative Wittenberg to meet, learn from, and share the history of Holocaust survivors. This is the work that we must continue to do. Now, I say this every year, but it's especially true this year. As time takes us further away from the atrocities of the Holocaust, each Holocaust Remembrance Day is even more important than the one before it. This is why I ask for the passage of this resolution. We ask on behalf of our Jewish caucus, and I invite my colleagues to co-sponsor it on today's resolution calendar. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Moss. The question before the House is on the adoption of House Resolution 300. Those in favor of the resolution say aye. Those opposed will say nay. The resolution is adopted.